Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Heron Outlet. We are back covering eMLS. The 2023 season is almost underway, and the club that we cover so closely has a brand new player. Don Borrello, the Toronto, Canada native, is Inter Miami's newest player. Don, welcome to the channel. Thanks for coming on. Really wanted to just get you to talk to us about your experience, introduce yourself to the fans. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, how did this opportunity come about for you? I don't know if I've seen too much in terms of your competitive play in like eMLS or anything like that. It's mostly been through Weekend League and all those other competitive things. So how did this opportunity come about? Walk us through it and tell us about your emotions throughout the whole process.
For sure. Well, hello everyone, and Austin, thank you for having me on here. So yeah, I actually started streaming FIFA about a year and a half ago, and as I started streaming, I noticed that like I could get a lot better at the game and compete at like the highest level. And yeah, I just kept playing. FIFA 22 came around. My channel grew a lot during FIFA 22. FIFA 23 was around the corner, and then I did good in the FIFA 22 EA FGS rankings. I ranked in the top 30, and then coming around to the FIFA 23 season, Inter Miami, they reached out to me because they're looking for a new esports professional player for FIFA, and yeah, absolutely, I was going to take the position and represent the club.
I was doing some digging, and I saw that, I mean, not just 2022 where you played well, in 2021 as well. I think it was in July that throughout the monthly rankings in Weekend League, you were top 50 in the world. You were number 46, and you also have the E-National Tournament Canadian title as well in 2021. So did that kind of momentum, and is that what made you realize that you could do this going into 2022?
Absolutely. That was also when I first started streaming, and maybe like 2 months in or a month in, that tournament happened, and to be honest, I joined that thinking like, hey, let me just give it a shot, right? And then that tournament was like, you have to first win your province, so I had to compete against everyone in Ontario, and then from there, whoever won that, which I won, you represent your province, and then versus all the other provinces. It was like a 2-tournament type of thing, and yeah, I ended up winning it, and from there, I kind of realized like, hey, like I believe myself, like I'm good enough to compete at the highest level. So I kind of like, also with the streaming, like I got more viewers from that, a lot of people recognized me, sort of say, and yeah, it was just like an eye opener saying that like, hey, I'm good enough to compete.
Yeah, you can definitely do this. I think this year you posted something on Twitter earlier in the week. You're 80-0 in Weekend League, probably reaching 100 now on multiple accounts. That's kind of insane. I want to talk to you first, or in a little bit we'll talk about the specifics on FIFA 23, but as for Inter Miami goes, and eMLS, what do you think the differences are going to be like in terms of competition? Like a tournament style play is very different than a Weekend League play where you're playing 20 games, right? It used to be 30, it used to be 40, and in terms of competition, it's sometimes one and done. There are some table tournaments, but when you get to that point where you're competing for titles, you have to go to a tournament style. Have you prepped for that at all going into the 2023 eMLS season? Are you ready to take on one-on-ones, one-and-dones against competitors, even in live settings?
For sure. So I tend to play a lot against a lot of other eMLS professional players. Play them in online, sort of say tournaments, like practice tournaments that we run, or even like friendlies that we run just offline, just for like good practice to prep for the upcoming eMLS. But yeah, definitely ready to compete. Now I know when we play at home, we're on ping, we're online, so it's different than the sort of say LAN tournaments. So definitely that will be, I think, the biggest challenge for me is like adapting to the LAN events. I've never played on LAN before, so super excited to get on LAN because apparently it's nothing but positives because it's responsive gameplay and all that. So I'm super excited to get into there. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
How about the crowds? I mean, there's also going to be an atmosphere while you're playing FIFA. I don't know if anyone really gets to experience something like that. What do you think that's going to be like?
Um,
Last
so
year was kind of crazy. Like I think it was, I don't know if it was for League Series 2 or one of the eMLS things. They had like a crazy crowd out. I think it was in Austin, and it was nuts.
yeah, no, I watched it all online on Twitch, and yeah, it was crazy. A lot of fans there. All the esports players were all there. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm a very calm person.
Okay.
So I feel like I handle pressure and I guess scenarios like that pretty well. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to it.
All right, let's jump into what your goals are then for Inter Miami before we talk about the game itself. I mean, what are you looking forward to this season? Are you trying to set any bars for yourself? Like it's your first competitive year outside of weekend league and things like that in other tournaments in other countries, but for this eMLS season and for Inter Miami, where are you guys kind of setting yourself up to be at the end of this year?
I want to win, so looking to hold the trophy, so to say. Looking to win, I guess, the grand prize and the MLS final cup, so to say. Yeah, it's my first year. It's my rookie season, so definitely a little bit of pressure with there. But again, like I know all the players. I played mostly all the players that are that were in MLS last year. So I'm just looking forward to getting on land and playing, and yeah, just be my best, prep for it, and hopefully come out on top.
Do some of those guys understand how big of a deal it is that you signed for Inter Miami are going to be competing in eMLS? Is there some talk going back and forth and all that?
I got a lot of congrats from a lot of the players. I got some people were shocked. A lot of people said it's time, fully deserved, sort of say. So yeah, just looking forward to representing the club now in the MLS.
That is good to hear. And so let's jump into FIFA 23 then, and what's gone on this year for you competitively. Your last team, Mbappe, Ginola, De Bruyne, but you came out and said that Zaha, Fofana, and Perisic were your favorites of the weekend, or however you went 80-0. Those guys drew you to the edge. Are you more of a guy that likes to play the meta, or do you like some of these underrated players that can kind of shine through where people aren't really expecting it?
No, I totally understand. I like to tell everyone I like to play my own meta.
Okay.
I like to, because I know my play style. I like to play quick. I like to possess the ball, but also have players that I'm good with. Sort of players that fit my play style. I'm very defensive also when I play FIFA, so I like to have a big body Perisic on the wing rather than having someone like Messi on the wing.
Okay.
Sort of say. So yeah, and it's definitely a different sort of different meta this year in FIFA. The whole body types and accelerate with players being lengthy, and we have players like Haaland who never really had playing time on any other teams in FIFA before, but now you see Haaland's in so many competitive teams. So definitely a different play style. But in terms of Zaha, Perisic, Fofana, those were the new guys I tested. Very good players, cheap on the market, and very surprised with how good they actually performed for me in the weekend league.
I don't know if you've really gotten a chance to practice with any of this, but in the eMLS season, as what they've done in the past couple of years, is that you have to use MLS players, or at least there has to be a certain threshold of number of players that you have to use in your team. Some of the guys, is there anybody that you're looking at right now that you're like, okay, yes, this is probably one of the guys that are going to make the team going forward? Or are you like, all right, EA, you need to release some other cards because we need some meta players in here to be competitive?
Yeah, definitely looking forward to EA releasing more players, more up-to-date players once we start playing. But one guy that stands out to me is DeAndre Yedlin, the right back for Inter Miami. He's an MLS foundation player on the game right now. So looking to get that player into my squad so I can train using him. And hopefully more players come out as the season goes on.
What about that Insigne card? Is there any hope for him?
So Insigne,
it's a decent
maybe
looking card. I haven't played, and that's another one of those short type wingers that you were talking about. You like a bigger body winger, so I can understand that. So what about? There's other not right now. There's not anybody that's really come out. I think if that Donovan card comes out, that World Cup hero card, if that could be something, I'm not sure. But I was wondering for you too, how does the new chemistry system kind of work into this? Because last year you had to be really smart with the links. You had to figure out where to place certain players and the formation changes and everything like that in game. But now there's a little bit more freedom in terms of chemistry. So is it going to be easier, do you think, for some eMLS pros to get these guys into their teams and make a better squad?
It's different, the chemistry styles. Now, players like the heroes, like Donovan, they will fit for sure because they're always on full chem.
Right.
Players like Insigne is like, so you need your MLS, however many players. I think it's like to get 2 boxes out of the 3 boxes on chemistry, you need 5 players from the MLS. So if you have those players, they're on chem, but then you kind of have to link with the nations, right?
Right.
So you got to kind of build your MLS squad, but also pick like a nation that if you want that full chem, you got to kind of follow a nation in your squad as well. So there will be challenges, I see. But if we get some more cards, I think everyone should build like a solid squad. So basically,
we're waiting for prime icon moments, R9, and those kinds of guys, just to make it easier for everybody.
For sure.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, I think how Inter Miami has handled this, they're bringing in a really good player. Can you kind of pitch yourself a little bit more? Can you tell the fans like really what you've gone through? Because I mean, I can read it on paper and I can see what you're doing on streams and I can read the titles, but like, what does it seriously mean for somebody to go 100-0 in a weekend league to start off the year? I mean, that it's a considerable amount of games and a considerable amount of wins. I've heard from some other streamers that this year weekend league seems a little bit easier. Guys like Nick Run the Foot Market and things like that. But it's still quite the feat, and it's something that I think for pros that needs to be the threshold. Like that's the bare minimum. Like that's the standard you have to set for yourself. What does that? I mean, what does that do for you mentally, and how does it prepare you for these competitive things coming up?
It's definitely challenging. Going 80-0 in Foot Champs, yes, people think that matchmaking is easier right now in FIFA. It's definitely still challenging. During Weekend League, the ping isn't as good as it is during the week. So definitely that plays a part, and that also plays like a mental part in it as well, because your players are a little bit slower, the passes aren't always as accurate. So you do get a little fussed here and there, but as long as you just stay like calm and you play your game, you'll be able to get through your opponents. But Weekend League is very different than playing against another professional player. They're definitely different games. And Weekend League, you can make mistakes and you can recover from that. And professional games, you want to limit your mistakes as much as possible, and that's kind of what like I'm trying to improve my game on, is just figuring out my exact play style and playing it to like perfection. And that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now, getting into the season.
Is it just you, or do you have a coach with you at all that you guys are going to work towards, or is it just you're just going to go into it solo? I'm not. I think last year there was a coach, but I'm not for the LAN event anyway. But for you, what's your kind of ideology with that?
So players have coaches. I don't. I've never had a FIFA coach, so to say. I've helped others with their FIFA game, but honestly, like, I would look at my gameplay and realize my mistakes, and I have like a community online, and I have a lot of people who I'm close with, and I kind of just talk with them because like I know they're gonna tell me exactly, and they know my play style, they know who I am, they've been with me for so long, so they kind of help me out with that sort of aspect in coaching and giving me tips and showing me my mistakes in the games.
Okay, for sure. All right, tell the fans, anybody watching, where they can catch up with all of your gameplay and where they can find you, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. For sure.
Thank you. I stream almost every night on Twitch, live on Twitch. My Twitch channel is Don Borrello. I am making YouTube content as well, posting my tactic videos and player reviews, stuff like that on YouTube as well, and that's Don Borrello on YouTube. On TikTok, it's Don Borrello TTV. I've been doing the same thing, tactic videos, player reviews, stuff like that. And you can also find me on Twitter. It's Don Borrello as well, and there I post, again, a lot of content, tactics, player reviews, controller settings, stuff like that.
All right, perfect. Yeah, you guys heard him. Go check him out. He is going to be competing for Inter Miami. And just one last note. I know you live in Toronto. Did you get a chance to make it out to an Inter Miami game last year?
So not yet. Really looking forward to next year.
Okay, all right,
Get out there and,
just making sure. You got to get out here. And I think even last year in the fan zones, they had some FIFA trucks up where their fans were playing FIFA outside. So, but did you also? What was the event that they just had recently? It was the fans thing, right?
The Copa La Familia.
Copa La Familia, right? Yeah. Were you there for that in attendance?
No, I actually was watching the live stream online on YouTube.
Okay. All right, so there you go. So still active, still part of the community from across the border. But with that said, you definitely got to get out here for an Inter Miami game and feel what the experience is like from La Familia. I'm telling you, it's something crazy. So that's something for you to look forward to. And for everybody else, get ready for Don Borrello and Inter Miami this year in eMLS. Don, thank you so much for coming on, and I look forward to chatting with you throughout the eMLS season. Good luck to you, man.
Awesome. Thank you, Austin. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. That's it for us on the Heron Outlet. We will see you guys in another video. Make sure you subscribe, check out all of our Instagram pages, and stay tuned for the podcast that's coming out in next week. See you guys.